Ever pondered about how the internet has transformed over the years? It's quite a tale. Once upon a digital age, the internet was an open platform, teeming with diversity and brimming with possibilities. It was a place where ideas flowed freely and the power was distributed among its many users and creators. But today, the scene is starkly different. A handful of companies command a majority of the web, shaping the way we communicate, work, and even think. This shift in power dynamics has led to a less competitive and more exploitative environment. Workers, users, communities, all find themselves caught in the web of these tech giants. The internet, once a beacon of openness and transparency, now resembles a closed fortress. Apps, the modern gatekeepers of the web, restrict access to information and limit the spread of ideas. They align more with product-focused technopolitics rather than the recall-oriented technopolitics of the past. So how did we get here? The answer lies in a phenomenon called platformization. Platformization is a term you might not be familiar with, but its impact is something we all experience daily. It's a phenomenon that's reshaping the internet as we know it, redefining how we interact, consume, and share content online. But what does it really mean? In essence, platformization refers to the transformation of the internet into a landscape dominated by a few powerful platforms. These platforms, often social media sites and apps, have become the gatekeepers of the digital world, controlling what we see, what we share, and how we interact. They've turned the once open and free internet into something more akin to a walled garden, where access to information is restricted and controlled. But it's not just about control. Platformization has led to a shift in technopolitics, from a focus on recall and accessibility to a product-oriented approach that prioritizes growth above all else. It's a world where user needs are often secondary to the relentless pursuit of expansion and profit. The effects of this shift are far-reaching and often negative. The monopolistic practices that platformization fosters can limit the spread of ideas, stifle innovation, and create an environment that's more exploitative than collaborative. It fuels a culture where growth is valued over user satisfaction, and where abusive behavior can often go unchecked. Moreover, this shift towards platformization has also led to a significant loss of transparency and privacy. The data we generate on these platforms is often used to feed the growth machine, with little regard for our individual rights or freedoms. In many ways, platformization is changing the very fabric of our online experiences, altering how we communicate, learn, and engage with the world around us. It's a shift that's reshaping not just the internet, but our society as a whole. Now, you might be wondering, was the internet always like this? Picture an internet that prioritized transparency, privacy, and user control. It's hard to imagine, isn't it? Yet, that was the reality of the internet of the past. This old web championed the recall-oriented technopolitics. It was a realm where information was not just pushed, but pulled, stored, and revisited. It was a place where users were not just passive consumers, but active participants. Unlike today's app-dominated landscape, the past internet was open and expansive. It encouraged the spread of ideas and fostered critical thinking. You could easily switch services or access your data. It was more about the people than the product. This old web was a digital frontier, a place of possibility and innovation. It was built on the foundation of openness, with the power distributed among its users, not concentrated in the hands of a few. Contrast this with our current internet, where platformization and monopolistic practices rule the roost. We can see how far we've strayed. The internet as we know it today has certainly strayed from its original ideals. Anil Dash describes our current web scenario as a broken tech content culture cycle. But what does that mean exactly? Imagine a hamster wheel, where the hamster is the content and the wheel is the tech. The hamster keeps running, fueling the wheel's rotation, but the wheel's design doesn't change to make the hamster's run any easier. It's a cycle where the drive for growth and advancement overshadows the needs of the hamster, or in our case, the user. This cycle fosters an environment that is ripe for abusive behavior. Just like the hamster that can't stop running, the user can't stop consuming, and the tech doesn't stop growing. It's a cycle that breeds exploitation, where the user becomes less of a participant and more of a fuel source. And this, dear listeners, is part of the problem with our web today. It's a cycle that disregards the needs of the user, that prioritizes growth over comfort, and that fosters an environment not conducive to healthy interaction. So as we navigate the web today, it's crucial to remember its past, understand its present, and envision a better future.